it high. Through the static we testify. No false throne, no tainted crown. His name remains when all falls down. Banner of Christ, we ride. Banner of Christ, we rise. Break the screen, burn the lie. Banner of Christ, we ride. Banner of Christ, banner of Christ. They sold envy in silver chains, fed on applause like pouring rain. Every wound made a smaller cage, every click drew a prayer away. So we marched through the mirrored gates, with our swords made of truth and grace. And the draped white cloth on the spear made the hidden tyrants disappear. Raise the cross, raise it high. Through the static we testify. No false throne, no tainted crown. His name remains when all falls down. Banner of Christ, we ride. Banner of Christ, we rise. Break the screen, burn the lie. Banner of Christ, we ride. Banner of Christ, banner of Christ. When the night tried to wear his face, we stood fast in the ruined place. No rage, no pride, just sacred flame. One king, one truth, one holy name. Banner of Christ, we ride. Banner of Christ, we rise. Chains will shatter, crowns will die. stood fast in the ruined place. No rage, no pride, just sacred flame. One king, one truth, one holy name. Banner of Christ, we ride. Banner of Christ, we rise. Chains will shatter, crowds will die. Banner of Christ, we ride.
¿Cómo está? Bien. Muchas gracias, señores and señoritas. Muy bien. Chinga tu ma... Brothers, welcome to the show. The Thursday edition of the Tactical Templar Excursion. That's right, it's an excursion into the deep wilds of the internet. What's going on in the world? What's going on online? What is going on in the world of culture? And I'm just so glad that you guys are here. We have a lot to talk about. We've got a lot to go over. Yes, it's a little bit of a later stream, but you know what? That's okay. It's okay. We can stream a little bit later. That's fine. You know, it just, you got to roll with the punches sometimes. You got to decide, you know what? It's kind of late. You know, I just sort of get done doing my thing. Maybe we don't stream today. Well, no, you got to stream. You got to come and give it your all, because there's a lot to talk about. And if I don't talk about it, well, then somebody else might talk about it and they might get it wrong. So, guys, we're going to be talking about the Candace Owens versus Andrew Wilson debate that's happening tomorrow. So, the Candace Owens Andrew Wilson debate is tomorrow, and we are going to be reacting to that. Now, I will say, we are going to wait until after the Crucible, Andrew Wilson's channel, after they live stream it, after they get done. Then we're going to go in and we're going to react to it. But we're going to wait until after their stream. So I just think that's a considerate thing to do, to make sure they can get all the views on themselves and they can get all the donations. Listen, I'm a small channel. I'm not saying, oh, hey guys, we're going to siphon views. It's just a considerate thing to do. Even a channel as small as mine, it's considerate, okay? Now, we're also going to talk about the EDP445 documentary deleted scenes. Guys, let me tell you something. If you thought the EDP445 documentary was bad, and it was disgusting, these deleted scenes are absolutely diabolical. So we're going to be looking at that as well. And also, we're going to be talking about the quartering. Because the quartering, once again, finds himself in a world of trouble, all from his own making and his own machinations. So we're going to be talking about all that. We're going to be going over all that. Guys, it is a blessing to be able to come and do this before you, even though it's a little bit late. It still is my pleasure to be able to come and just shoot the shit. So, one thing we are going to do, we are going to play some Helldivers 2, okay? We are going to play some Helldivers 2. Now, I don't know if I'm going to buy the War Bond, okay? The War Bond is kind of expensive. Not really sure if I want to buy the War Bond, okay? It's like $15, $20. Because it's not the 1000 version of the War Bond. It's 1500, and then you'd have to buy, you have to buy like the 1000 one, and then I think like $350 for $5. Like, so yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be getting it. but we can still play. We can still play the game. And that's what we're going to be doing. Also, we're going to be looking at the sneak peek to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. I mean, I got a funny story about that. It should make you guys laugh. It should really make you guys laugh. So we're going to be talking about that. Guys, we're also going to be talking about a run. You need about 300 to 400 medals. I know. Yeah, I need a bunch of medals, but that's okay. That's what dropping is for. And, I'm going to get medals from, all the group missions and, individual missions. Yeah, that won't be a problem. But I'm just not going to buy it. I'm like, look, like $15 for an expansion like that is just kind of much. Okay? I'm looking at it and I'm going, just like, I don't know. $15 to $20 is it's an investment. So that's where I'm at on it. That's where I'm at. I'm just not sure that I'm all the way there. Anyway, brothers, what do I want to start with first? You know what we're going to start with? You know what we're going to start with? We're going to start with an update on Luigi Mangione. It's going to be interesting. So you guys ready to talk about Luigi? Brothers, there hasn't really been any news recently about Luigi Mangione, the guy that allegedly went and killed a healthcare CEO. And so when I saw that this headline was talking about this case, I thought, why not add a segment for it? Because, yeah, there is interest in it, although I think at this point people have kind of moved on to different things. I still think it is interesting and worth talking about. So, to give you a brief recap, the United Healthcare CEO was assassinated in New York City. It was recorded on camera. He was killed in cold blood. And their lead suspect is Luigi Mangione. We have heard a lot about this. The left has turned this guy into a hero. You have a lot of women that are, basically saying, free Luigi. We love Luigi because he's an attractive looking guy. And they do this all the time. Women are so-called the more nurturing gender, and yet they have this suicidal empathy and this just insane ability to pick the worst guys imaginable for the worst criteria and characteristics. Anyway, we're going to be taking a look. We got Luigi Mangione expected to plead guilty. That's right. It seems like everyone's pleading guilty now. I don't know what's changed. Yesterday, we saw the defense filing for Tyler Robinson, and that was basically them saying, well, yeah, we admit that Tyler Robinson did shoot Charlie Kirk and wanted to shoot Charlie Kirk, but he didn't intend to kill anyone else, so you can't have these aggravating factors. It was a complete mess. We went over it on stream. But now Luigi Mangione is expected to plead guilty in his federal case. The surprise move could delay his New York City murder trial. Interesting. Which is set to begin jury selection on September 8th. Accused United Healthcare CEO assassin. And so you got the word accused there. Luigi Mangione is expected to plead guilty to federal charges against him at a surprise pre-trial conference Friday. So that would be tomorrow. So we're going to have some updates. We're going to have some news as it relates to that. According to local reports, a move that could upend his state-level murder trial just weeks before it's supposed to begin in New York City. State and federal prosecutors and Mangioni's legal team have not responded to requests for comment from Fox News Digital. There is no deal, a senior Justice Department source told Fox News Thursday. However, the source said Mangione is allowed to plead guilty in open court Friday if he so chooses. The Associated Press reported Thursday that the 28-year-old former Ivy League is expected to plead guilty in his federal stalking case, citing a person familiar with the matter. Mangione could change his mind, however. Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. Says Luigi Mangione hearing set for Friday stirs plea deal speculation in his federal case. Paul Morrow, a retired NYPD inspector and Fox News contributor, suggested that Mangione may still enter a guilty plea without any kind of deal in place and a gamble to get out of serving time in a state prison. It wasn't a crazy read that it looked like a deal. True. Because even the district attorney of New York in the state case filed a letter opposing any deal. He said, but that said, it just didn't fly for me, and it looks like he's going to just plead guilty. Interesting. So let's take a look at this video from Fox News talking about this.
Federal hearing for Luigi Mangione is now on the docket for tomorrow, fueling speculation there might be some sort of plea deal coming, or not, or something else. Brian Yanis is watching it. Brian, good day to you. What can we say? Hello.
Bill, good morning. Well, both Luigi Mangione's lawyers and federal prosecutors asked for a last-minute hearing tomorrow, reportedly to discuss a possible plea deal, but prosecutors are not confirming.
There's a conference scheduled for 11 a.m. on Friday, and that's all we can say at this time.
If Mangione accepts a federal plea deal, it not only cancels his federal trial in January, it could upend his state trial set to begin on September 8th. Why? Because New York has a double jeopardy law that is broader than the U.S. Constitution's. A defendant cannot be prosecuted twice for the same act at the federal and state level. So if Mangione pleads guilty in federal court tomorrow, before his state trial begins, his lawyers could then march into state court and argue the case must be dismissed because he's already been convicted over United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson's death. Back in 2019, this same law was applied to the President Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort. A New York judge dismissed the Manhattan DA's mortgage fraud indictment against Manafort after he was federally convicted for similar crimes. An appeals court upheld the decision. Experts say a Mangione federal plea deal would be surprising and trigger a state legal fight.
I would be surprised, and if it happens, we're going to have a lot of legal discussion about whether or not the state can move forward. And even if somebody decides that the state can move forward after arguments, who knows what an appellate court is going to do a la Manafort, right?
Mangione faces only stalking charges in federal court and murder charges in state court. Bill, if he accepts a federal plea, prosecutors could argue those crimes are different enough for that state trial to continue.
All right,
Bill?
Tomorrow there'll be a day of drama. We'll be here for it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Brian. Nice to see you in New York. Brian, yes.
Boy, he's not wrong. Tomorrow is absolutely going to be a day of drama. It is absolutely going to be a day of drama. We got the Andrew Olson versus Candace Owens debate. We've got news on Luigi Mangione. Yeah, tomorrow is definitely going to be must see. And yeah, I mean, that's really the first we've heard about the Luigi Mangione case in quite some time. Very interesting. So, yeah. Now, do I think that he did it? Yeah, I think he's probably guilty. You know, we'll wait and see for all the evidence to come out. But yeah, he most likely did it. I know a lot of the conspiracy theorists don't think he did it. You know, they have these images where they go, oh, it's the different eyebrows. And I think it's pretty clear that he did it. But we'll see. And that's what we're going to find out tomorrow. If he pleads guilty or not guilty. That will give us a determination. That will give us an answer. Now, let's continue reading this article, because I did want to read this tweet right here. It says, retired NYPD Inspector Paul Moreau lays out a new theory regarding a potential plea from accused assassin Luigi Mangione in his federal stalking case, which could short-circuit a state-level murder trial before it gets started.
Friends, I think it's important that we clear up a couple of things about the federal case against Luigi Mangione. First of all, this is not a plea deal. It looks like he's just going to come in and plead guilty, which makes a lot more sense. I've been saying all along here that a plea deal for Mangione makes no sense. The Southern District held all the cards. And in fact, it wasn't a crazy read that it looked like a deal, because even the district attorney of New York in the state case filed a letter opposing any deal. But that said, it just didn't fly for me, and it looks like he's just going to plead guilty. Why would he do that? Because then he gets a couple of things. First of all, he gets to serve his time in federal prison where the conditions are better, and he is hoping that the New York State double jeopardy law will knock out the state case now, and all he ever has is the federal case. That is no guarantee. Everybody's invoking the Manafort case. That was a very different circumstance. The charges here between the state case and the federal case are very different. He's rolling the dice and hoping that he only ever has to deal with federal charges. But that's the way it looks like it's going to go. I'll be down in court tomorrow reporting from there. Paul Morrow for Fox News Digital.
Interesting. So, yeah, he could plead federally to try to get his state case, dismissed. And you think about it, how depressing is that people are willing to plead on federal charges because they don't want to go to state prison because the conditions are so bad? That, to me, is pretty shocking. And New York is a very blue state. They want to abolish prisons. Why don't you make them nicer? Why don't you clean them up? You could do prison reform. You don't have to get rid of the whole thing. But apparently, these state prisons are such shitholes in New York and these blue cities, people would rather just plead to federal crimes. Interesting. Yeah, so he talks about getting to serve his time in federal prison, where the conditions are better, and he's hoping that the New York State double jeopardy law will knock out the state case. Very interesting. So, yeah, I just wanted to do a brief update. We haven't really talked about Luigi Mangione at all. So, that'll do it for this video. I'm going to keep it short. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay. Let's upload that. Let's get that uploaded. Okay. All right, got that. We got Musk saying, I'll listen while sleeping. Don't do any Hassan clips or I'll get nightmares. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, you may get nightmares anyway, because we have some clips to go over from the EDP445 documentary, interview, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's pretty brutal, pretty disgusting, unacceptable, wrong, unctuous, foul. So, oh man, we got our boy Relic in the chat. How you doing, brother? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, we got our brother Relic in the chat over on Kick. He's a fairly regular member, and he's been extremely generous in the past. We appreciate the support. So we like to. All right, let's give a round of applause. Relic passed his kidney stone. Let's go. Okay. Some people may say, what's the big deal there? That is a huge deal. That is massive. Congratulations, brother. That is fantastic news. That is fantastic news. Glad to see it. Glad to see it. That is, that's great. I feel like a new man. I bet. Yeah, no, that stuff's no joke. You know? Treat Luigi like a saint. Yeah, it is very odd. Extremely odd. How they treat, they treat Luigi Mangione. But Relic, I'm really glad for you, brother. I'm really glad. Let's see. So we're gonna be taking a look at this. Brothers, so on stream the other day, we reacted to the entire EDP445 documentary. It was brutal to get through, but we did it. And the next night we watched the Gideon response, which I thought was a disaster. I think Gideon's response was lacking in accountability. I think it was just frankly pathetic because Gideon was desperately trying to give adult agency to an underage girl because she was useful to him in making content. But today we have another thing about the documentary to go over, and that is the deleted scenes that were released by Mike Klum, who is the director and editor of the documentary. So let's take a look. This is the video in question. Give me 1 second. This is the video in question. It's only 3.5 minutes, so this isn't going to be super long. But wait until you see what's in this video. I'm just going to give you guys a warning. If anyone watching this is eating food, I would recommend that you stop eating food. Seriously. Stop eating for a couple minutes, because if you do, this is going to make you sick. All right? You've been warned. You've absolutely been warned, okay?
Yeah, so this is one of those things that absolutely should land a human being in jail, and it looks like he's cum in his hand and is letting it drip down his hand. And sent this to someone he believed to be a 13-year-old girl.
Brother, that's disgusting. So, oh God. So he's sending this picture of himself masturbating and nutting into his hand. This is something that EDP445 sent to somebody that he thought was a child.
It looks like a misformed Mr. Potato Head. It kind of looks like it has eyes right here. And then like the potato head body, but it's kind of like shrunk down a little bit.
I would say his penis is definitely very, very small. He's got a grasp with his fist like this. And let me tell you, there's not much left at the end over here worth writing home about. He's...
What? Okay, like... Mudahar is a little bit too excited looking at another man's penis. Well, it is not very big. I'm going to judge it by its size, sir. It's like, dude, I get that you're making fun of him. I'm all for it. I'm all for you mocking the fact he's, overweight or he's got a small penis. But, like, look at that smile on Mudahar's face. Look at that smile. That smile is... making me a bit uncomfortable. Look at the way his eyes just sort of linger on the picture, like, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna redeem. I'm not gonna redeem his take on it too much because I don't know. That's just weird.
He's a small guy.
If I had to describe EDP445's penis,
why would you ever? Why would you ever want to do that?
Have you ever seen one of those mushroom characters from Super Mario?
Okay.
Like one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with like the mean face, and they're like you hop on them and you get the token. Not that you would get a token from hopping on EDPs. Oh, okay. Anyway, it looks like a mushroom.
Move on, Skeeter.
From the Super Mario series. Yeah, Goombas, I think they're called. Goombas, right?
How do you not know what a Goomba is? It's like even if you don't play video games, it's culturally relevant. Like everyone knows what a Goomba is.
As far as penises go, it is considerably smaller than I thought it.
Oh my god! Why? I don't know. It broke me. Boogie2988 is judging EDP445's penis. This is content I did not expect. This is something you couldn't have even dreamed up in a fever dream. Like, this is crazy.
That would be. I'm an old man, but I was always told the black men had larger genitals. So I just, I thought he would have a more impressive penis than that.
I'm not rating another man's pecker. You want me to really rate this guy's dick? What do you want me to rate it?
Low. Very.
That was the only reasonable answer I've seen so far. Like, did you really want me to rate another man's penis? Like, like my brain is short-circuiting. That's disgusting.
Very low. I would rate this penis very low out of 10. Extremely low.
Oh God, Oompaville, no. Like, yes, but no. Yeah, we get it. Like, we understand. You are probably correct. I don't need evidence for this, by the way. I'm going to just believe his claim. This is one argument I don't need evidence for. I believe him. I believe all of them. We shouldn't be hearing this.
Very low. 0. It doesn't even look like a penis. It just looks like it's vertical and it's round looking.
Absolutely disgusting. Like the very tip is brown, and then below that is slightly pink, and then it goes back to brown. It's like those fucking those ice cream sandwiches.
Why are you doing a play-by-play? Oh God, ugh. Oh, it's so gross. This is tough to get through.
I'm looking at the smallest pathetic penis ever. And what is on the tip?
Ugh.
Is there some kind of fungus? What is going on over here? What is growing on his dick? Do you know?
Disgusting.
Yo, I'm about to look at EDP's dick. Okay. Predictions. Smaller side.
It's 0. It's fucking 0. It's 0. I can't give it anything more than it's fucking worthless. It's literally smaller than his thumb. It's fucking worthless. It's dilapidated.
God.
It's fucking sad. It's impudent, and it hasn't grown.
You know, it's not a micro penis, and I've seen quite a few micro penises. I used to go to the gym in Koreatown. There's a lot of micro penises out there, so it's not a micro penis, but it is rather micro compared to what else is out there.
Yeah, I mean, for a 500-pound man who's dying of dialysis and wants to bang a child, I guess a smaller penis is better.
I've seen worse. But
I've seen worse. Oh my gosh.
Easily a 2.
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10, yeah.
I'm trying to remove it from my remove it from my brain. No.
I understand. I get it. That I can't even imagine. There's no scenario where I would look at that. That's just brutal. Oh man, that was tough to watch. That was difficult to watch. Let's take a look at some of the comments here, though. Oh, God. And it's exactly what you would expect. I know Boogie's ass ain't talking. You guys are just as much of a freak as EDP is. I don't agree with that. Damn, you didn't get Caleb's thoughts on his penis. Yeah, Caleb was unavailable for comment. Release this on YouTube now. Didn't they sign a waiver? I am not looking at this man's wee for content. Exactly the response I expected from Cold Raven. Poor I'm Dante. That is disgusting. This is abuse to make people look at that. Yeah, I think that it should be reclassified as psychological torment. Okay. Why does Boogie sound disappointed? Everybody in this documentary is weird as hell. Yeah, people. Also, them gay looking at a dick pic. So, yeah, we just wanted to do the follow-up here. We wanted to talk about, the unseen elements of the EDP445 documentary. And it was everyone looking at his penis and describing what his penis looked like and what he was doing in the picture. Now, keep in mind, as disgusting as this is, what makes it even more disgusting is that he was sending this to somebody that he thought was 13 years old. This guy is sick. He's a freak. And, usually this is the part where I would say, I hope he goes to church. I hope that there's like some redemption in him, that he's able to find something good, like that there's something salvageable. Because, my Christian nature, I'm not a particularly nice guy, but I agree with Andrew Wilson. I am a kind person. And I find that in situations like this, I think people, they say, oh, this guy should, end his own life. I understand that. I'm not going to get mad at people for doing that. I have a hard time with that because in the Christian faith, suicide is like one of the worst things you can do. But in this case, I'm having a tough time. I'm having a really tough time finding, because I usually look at people, even people that are deemed as unacceptable, and, that person is, just completely verboten on the internet. I usually try to look and say, I like this person to go to church. I like them to get right with God. I like them to live, to repent from what they've done and work towards some sort of reconciliation that they might improve and make the world a better place. I have to say, EDP may be one of the first where I genuinely think that may be impossible. All things are possible through God, but this one, I don't see it. I can't. Maybe it's a failing on my part, but I don't think that there's anything that this guy can do to pull himself back from the disgusting, degenerate abyss that he finds himself in. And this has been one of the most difficult documentaries that I've seen. This was way more difficult than Boogie 2988. Because this guy is dealing with a subject matter that is just so unbelievably clearly evil. Where you are preying on children. And the thing that makes it worse is that a lot of the people involved, the predator poachers, they're greedy, incompetent retards. They're greedy, incompetent retards that mismanage this. This guy should be in jail. That's the one thing I lament about this. EDP445 should be in jail. He should be in prison. But he's not. Because these people put content above doing it the right way. They wanted to make it a spectacle for the show rather than getting this guy off the street. Man. Let's see. How's my old man has to say? With some people, no, behavior is no behavioral problem. Interesting. Anyway, we're going to wrap things up there. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you for supporting the channel. And I'll see you next time. Okay. That video is done. I'm glad we got that out of the way. I'm glad we got that out of the way. That was a tough one. That was a tough one. Let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. He's so shameless and proud of it. Yeah. Isn't that shocking? That someone could be that disgusting and proud of it? Unbelievable. Okay, so that one's done. All right. Got a bit of a silly video to do. Brothers, I know that everyone is anticipating The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. They're wanting to see what this game is going to be about. They're wanting to see, are the dungeons redesigned? Is the music redesigned? The gameplay, the combat, the mechanics. Is it going to be voice acted? They want to know what type of graphics are we going to get with this. There are so many questions. And we have a leaked video to show you that shows some of the gameplay from this new game. I know. Who would have thought? But this leaked early. I'm sure Nintendo is furious about this. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to go over it. And I think it's extremely important that I show this to you so that you get a full sense of what you can expect with this game. I know there are a lot of questions. I know there are a lot of people that are just hungry for this, and you came to the right place, okay? So, without further ado, I'm going to show you the new, never-before-seen Ocarina of Time remake leaked gameplay. It's actual gameplay. You guys ready? All right, here we go.
Link, it's time to get up, okay? It's time to get up.
Wow. Look at these graphics.
Hey, Link, press Z to look at me and press A to talk to me.
Wow, what a change.
Ting. He just died? Wow. He led an amazing life.
Wow.
These are terrible people, Link. You know that? They come right out of the ground. It's disgusting. I know Ganondorf very well. He's a great guy. He's very strong. He's a very strong guy, and he's very thin. Look at this place. It's a total disaster.
Right?
I don't know where I am in this place. Dark Link is a brilliant swordsman. His sword is very sharp. I think he'll be very successful. He's very young.
True.
King Zoron has been pumping our streets with potions for years, poisoning our shopkeepers, our young dancers. I built this temple. Did you know that? It used to be called Trump Temple.
Wow.
I love this temple.
I mean, we're getting lore updates. We're getting some behind the scenes. They're going deeper than they've ever gone before on explaining this world. I mean, I gotta tell you, already this game is looking like a 10 out of 10. This game is looking like a 10 out of 10. What a masterpiece.
But not as much as I love the great kingdom of Hyrule.
Wow. Wow, can you believe that? Yeah. I mean, look at these graphics. Amazing. This is exactly what you would expect from a game in 2026. I mean, and look at this. Look at the detail on this in comparison to the N64. I mean, of course, you'd have Donald Trump in, a Legend of Zelda game as your companion. Of course you would. Who else would you have? How can you one-up having Navi as your companion? Well, having Donald Trump. Makes perfect sense. Let's rewatch some of these clips so that you get a full sense of just how spectacular this is.
Hey, Link, press Z to look at me and press A to talk to me.
Well, so already they're telling you they're going to have like some of the old mechanics that you know and that you're used to. That's a big deal. Anyway. All right. We're gonna drop the joke. I thought it was pretty funny, but here's the thing that I found to be interesting. I posted this, and this made me laugh. I posted this in the Legend of Zelda Discord server because somebody had sent this to me and I thought it was funny. And the Legend of Zelda Discord server is notorious for being run by a bunch of left-wing degenerate freaks and nut jobs, a bunch of perverts and deviants, people that are big into LGBTQ and far-left progressivism, and the sort of the like brain-rotted, just low IQ anti-AI takes. But I posted this as a joke in there, and they banned me. Nothing else, just this. And they banned me. I had to share that. That was hilarious. I laughed for a good couple minutes. They were so insecure and they were so triggered by this. This is obviously a joke, but they're so Trump deranged and so fucking pathetic. They're just like, we can't have that. Let's ban that guy. Yeah. Anyway, Trump is still your president. This is a hilarious joke. The channel that made this is called Gorm the Old. Gorm the Old. I think this is pretty good, brother. This is pretty good. Gorm the Old. So, yeah. A lot of fun. Very, very funny. Glad that people are putting AI to good use. And we're getting some memes and we're having some fun with this stuff. But to end this off, because, I'm sure that the people who initially thought I actually had leaked footage are probably gone because they were pissed off. But for those of you that remain, let me talk about The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Reborn. I have high hopes for this game. I think Nintendo is going to do a fantastic job because, from my point of view, Nintendo always does a fantastic job. Now, I'm not saying that every Legend of Zelda game is, a masterpiece, 10 out of 10, the best thing. Usually it's extremely good to a masterpiece. I've never played a Legend of Zelda game where I said, wow, this is terrible. And let me give you some other insight as somebody that's been around for a while in the gaming space. You need to be aware that there are people that make their money off of, ragging on The Legend of Zelda, or ragging on Nintendo, being hyper negative. How do I know this? Because about a year ago, I said some things that were positive about Nintendo when everyone hated Nintendo, and I got excoriated for it. But in the end, I was right. In the end, I was absolutely right. Because Nintendo really is the best value for money for anyone looking to get into modern gaming. If you are looking to get into current modern gaming, the best value for money, the best way to do it, is with a Nintendo console. It was true then, and it's true now. But with this remake, you have to understand, there's a lot of negativity around the game. There's a lot of people saying, well, I'd be so disappointed if it wasn't this. But keep in mind, The Legend of Zelda has been getting shit on for decades. And when I say decades, I mean literal decades. I remember when Wind Waker was announced, the backlash that game got was unreal. People that were so-called Zelda fans said, I'm not buying this. This is a kid's game. The cartoon, I don't like, I'm not going to buy it. Now it's in their top 5 favorite Zelda games of all time. Majora's Mask. Oh man, what a ripoff. Same assets as Ocarina of Time. What are they even doing? Again, Majora's Mask is now within the top 5 of their favorite Zelda games. What I'm saying is, the Zelda fan community is home to some of the most intelligent, passionate, and dedicated fans that are willing to do things like make a multiplayer mod for Breath of the Wild, or willing to make something like Ship of Harkarian, Harkinian. Ship of Harkinian. They're willing to do that. But at the same time, it's also filled with some of the most sad, pathetic, low IQ, miserable, constantly negative people I've ever seen as well. And so you have to keep that in mind. That when you get something about Zelda, you're going to get people that are obviously passionate, but you're also going to get the retards. And what I would say is, do not let the retards ever, and I mean ever, make you, I don't know if I can support this game. Never let them make you doubt. Because in the end, these people are almost always wrong. And the game comes out and it's an absolute banger. Which is why all the people dooming and glooming around the Ocarina of Time remake, when the game comes out, they're going to be right there along with me and others saying that this thing is amazing. That's my prediction. That's my prediction, boys. Anyway, this video was a lot of fun. I appreciate your indulgence. Anyway, that'll do it. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay. Okay, boys. Let's get that uploaded. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I don't mind reuse assets. Me neither. I don't mind reuse assets either. As long as it's done well, I got no problem. Let's see. Let's take a look. Brothers, when it comes to Iran, you have heard an endless string of negativity, both from the left-wing mainstream media and from a lot of the far-right pundits. In that way, they're in agreement. They are simpatico on Trump bad, Trump needs to be impeached, Trump needs to be removed. It's very interesting to watch them work. You have people like Owens, you have people who are on the more far-right spectrum that are saying that Democrats need to win because they need to stop Trump, which is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. If you are advocating that Democrats need to win, or if you're advocating that people should vote Democrat, you are an enemy. That really is all there is. If you are suggesting that the communists should get into positions of power, you are an enemy. And you are somebody that should either get out of the way or you should be gone through, politically speaking. But we're going to look at the reality of Iran. Because all of the bullshit, all of the nonsense around this, the truth is that the U.S. has been clobbering Iran. And all of this talk about the Strait of Hormuz, already we're hearing from Scott Besson and we're hearing from others that they are currently taking steps to bypass the Strait of Hormuz altogether, making it irrelevant and taking it out of play. Now, they say that it could take a year or two to get this fully in development, but they are already putting things into place to make it irrelevant. One of them is the underground pipeline, which is going to be huge. Saudi Arabia and the UAE, they're working on that. So if that happens, it basically makes Iran irrelevant. I just think it's very interesting to watch it unfold. There are a lot of people with a lot of different vested interests, most of which have to do with a Middle Eastern blood feud between Israel and the rest of the Middle East. It has nothing to do with America, which is why I don't think any of these people can call themselves America first, if their first priority is a Middle Eastern blood feud.
Warning Iran may ramp up its aggression as we get closer to the midterms, while President Trump insists the U.S. blockade on the Strait is holding. Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst joins us from Tel Aviv with the details. Hey, Trey.
Yeah, hey, Brian, good morning. With no diplomatic breakthrough, tension remains high across the Middle East. There are still major questions about the Strait of Hormuz and if a deal can be reached to open this critical waterway. We do know the Persian Gulf Strait Authority, an Iranian government agency, said Wednesday claims and repeated posts by U.S. officials that the Strait of Hormuz is no longer blocked do not change the reality. The Strait of Hormuz remains blocked and will not be reopened until Iran's conditions are accepted. This came after President Trump posted yesterday on Truth Social, saying in part the USA has total control over the Strait of Hormuz. Our naval blockade is being called by everyone a wall of steel, and there is nothing Iran can do about it. Still, less than 10% of the average number of pre-war vessels are passing through the strait, as some analysts warn of possible escalation before a solution is found.
You see the midterms coming. My gut feel is that they're likely going to get more aggressive because they don't believe the president will do much prior to the midterms in terms of military reaction.
I mean, he's already said he's low-keying it. He said that in an interview.
But here's the fact is, they have miscalculated with him time and time again. We have more capability in the region now than we had on February 28th, and it all is ready.
The focus on Iran comes as we're also tracking developments between Israel and Lebanon. Talks are set to resume in September in Rome, aimed at normalizing ties between the two countries and disarming Hezbollah. Still, details have to be worked out about the proposed security zones.
Under no circumstances do we retreat, not in Lebanon, not in Syria, not in Gaza, from the security zones. The lesson of October 7th is that we protect the residents by having the IDF present in these places and defending them.
Israel is still carrying out limited strikes in both Lebanon and Gaza. On Wednesday, a senior Hamas commander was killed in one of those strikes. Brian?
So I know Hassan Piker is going to be inconsolable about that, but you can already see that Iran is basically trying to do anything they can to get an upper hand because they're not winning. The idea that Iran is winning is such a pipe dream for the enemies of the United States. It's pretty nuts, actually.
Trey, when we look at the situation right now, I thought General Keane brought up another great point last night. He said that the biggest surprise to the Iranians was when they hit the Gulf states. The Gulf states called us up at least 3 times and asked us not to hit back. And we've listened. That's really was probably holding the president back now. Predominantly, it's the Gulf states saying, We get hit when you hit them, so please don't hit them. At one point, that's where we're going to have to make a decision, correct?
Absolutely. They have to make a major decision, and this is part of the president's calculation. He has said time and time again, the goal here is to ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. And ultimately...
I mean, like, this to me is a no-brainer. All of the different Gulf states should team up with the U.S. to just take out Iran. We don't need U.S. troops on the ground. You can send in troops from that area of the world and have them go in and just completely take over Iran. I know that's a simplistic answer, but it is something that's far more feasible. It's far more feasible than what we're doing here. That's my opinion. We've taken out their Navy. We've taken out their Air Force. We've taken out their ability to conduct a traditional war. And now they're trying to wait us out. I just say, hey, look, they're bombing you. We're not. They're attacking indiscriminately. Why don't you go in there? Why don't you do some damage? Why don't you send in some troops and we'll back you up?
This is going to be a tiered approach. They have to deal with the Strait of Hormuz first, and then ultimately enter into more detailed discussions about Iran's nuclear program. But as it relates to these Gulf countries, there is real concern about the escalation ladder and what happens if major strikes resume against Iran. Because the Iranians still have pieces on this chessboard. You know, their Navy is at the bottom of the sea. Much of their missile arsenal was taken out in U.S. and Israeli strikes during Operation Epic Fury, but they still have many of these shorter-range missiles and drones that can threaten energy infrastructure in the Gulf. And that is part of the reason you have countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE asking the president to exhaust all diplomatic opportunities before returning to combat operations. But tension, again, remains high across the region because at this moment, the Iranians are mocking what the Trump administration is saying about the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, they are, Trey. And General Key.
Yeah, you just take them out. I don't think that there's any benefit in negotiation anymore. I think it's pretty clear that these people are not going to negotiate. These people are crazy. They're radical. They're anti-American. They're anti-civilization. They don't just hate America and Israel. They also want to indiscriminately attack everyone in the area. So, yeah, you would be doing the world a favor by just completely removing the IRGC from power.
Keane also spoke last night about this is ultimately coming down to a battle of wills. And it seems that nothing has changed insofar as the IRGC and General Ahmad Vahidi not bending that will, no matter how bad the Iranian people suffer economically and otherwise. Do you see that changing anytime soon?
The short answer is no, and the Iranians did miscalculate on the president's patience. They thought, ultimately, according to reports, that he would want to wrap up this situation more quickly out of concern of events in the United States. But what's happening right now is quite interesting. There is an immense amount of economic pressure on the Iranian regime as we speak. The U.S. naval blockade is costing the Iranians hundreds of millions of dollars each and every day. They have had to slash their crude oil extraction rate. They are decreasing their domestic exports.
Right.
And inflation is rising rapidly inside of Iran. Mm-hmm. And so each and every day, the U.S.
No. I'm told that Iran is fine. They're winning. You know, Hamas Piker told me so. Like, the idea that the U.S. is losing this is just, it's crazy to me that these people continue to push this narrative that is just anti-American at its very core. We know that the U.S. is going to win this. They're going to come out on top. But you still have people that are doubting. They're doubting our country, our resolve. I just don't agree. I don't think we're going to lose this. I think we're going to win.
Military pressure in the region is consistent. There are still more than 50,000 U.S. soldiers in the region, aircraft carriers, destroyers, and refuelers prepared if military operations do resume. But it's the economic pressure that the Iranians are starting to really feel, according to intelligence officials that we've talked to in the region. And the president has shared a few graphs of this, looking at the inflation inside of Iran. Fox News is told that the issue is even worse than is being publicly described. because the Iranians are out of options in terms of paying the IRGC officials and soldiers on the ground.
Yeah, they're not paying their soldiers. Hey, let me tell you something. You stop paying your soldiers for a period of time, you're going to get a coup on your hands. But what about, the U.S. is winning? Iran is winning. The U.S. is losing. They're not paying their soldiers. What do you mean we're losing when they're not paying their soldiers? You think that the IRGC is going to stay in power if they stop paying everyone? No. But again, it's this sort of, mentality of the West is bad, America's bad. If I don't like America, well then, it's like, dude, just shut the fuck up. A lot of you people talking about this don't know anything about foreign politics. You don't know anything about history. You're speaking off the cuff because you're in favor of Iran and you just want to glaze them even though they're losing badly.
In terms of keeping their people happy, the domestic pressure is rising on the regime. And that's part of the calculation here for President Trump. He maintains all options on the table. But if General Keane is correct here in the possibility that the Iranians escalate militarily, the president has been very clear in the conversations and interviews he has conducted about the situation in Iran. He is willing to escalate in order to de-escalate. And that is a very real possibility in the weeks and months ahead.
Okay, Trey, thank you so much.
Thanks, Trey.
Escalate to de-escalate.
All right, so we'll see what happens because we know the president, we do have more assets now. He says that we have people are mistaking the story about munitions, our top level, the THAAD missiles, the Patriot missiles, for we don't have it. We have different stuff. We don't have that stuff as much as we want because we're just worried about the next conflict, not necessarily this conflict.
Right. That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this very briefly, give you an update on what's going on in Iran, and let you know that the U.S. is doing great. All of the negativity in the media, all of the anti-Trump rhetoric, you just have to be wary. You have to be wary about that. And you also have to be wary about the people that are pushing the, vote Democrat, or support Democrats, or let's hope Democrats get in. Those people are your enemy. Because those people are advocating that communists and people that hate you and want to kill you get into elected office. The people that have made this country worse every time they're in power, well, these idiots want to put them back in power. The answer is absolutely not. Anyway, that'll do it. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Let me resize this back. Perfect. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me switch here. Okay. Yeah, please prayers. I gone for a few days. My age 84 grandma has osteoporosis and has a fracture in her spine greater than 50%, is in the ER. Oh, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. Oh, man. Man. yeah, I can't even. Yeah, we will absolutely say a prayer, man. That's brutal. Doyle is he's a guy that came to my chat one time to troll, and then he became a regular, and he's been on the show before. He's somebody that always shows up, and so man, that's so brutal. I'm so sorry, man. Yeah, we can. Yeah, I think that's horrifying. In fact, let's bow our heads in prayer right now. Dear Lord, we just come before you and we pray for Doyle's grandmother. Lord, we can't even begin to know the sort of pain that sort of injury comes with, but you do. And I just pray that you put your healing hand on her and give the doctors wisdom and give them speed to deliver the most effective and efficient coverage possible that she could heal, Lord. I pray that you put your hand on her and heal her. You heal her injury, Lord. We know that you can do all things. And I pray that you're with Doyle, that you give him strength during this difficult time. Sometimes, Lord, it's more difficult to watch somebody in pain rather than be the one in pain. And so I just pray that you give him strength and resolve to deal with the heartbreak, whatever may come. Lord, I say this in Jesus' holy name. Amen. Okay. Well, Doyle, we'll be thinking about you, man. That's rough. Okay. Brothers, it's undeniable that Ben Shapiro is afraid of Nick Fuentes. And I think he's afraid for multiple reasons. Number one, I think that Ben knows that he would lose the debate with Nick. I'm not saying that Nick is the best master debater, but Nick is very good at what he does. I've seen Nick go into a hostile setting with, 4 or 5 other people that hate him viscerally and be able to take on all comers. And no, it's not. Anyway, so PPD is sitting down with Ben Shapiro and is asking Ben, would you ever have Nick Fuentes on your show? And so Nick is like, well, listen, I don't think so. I would never do that because I don't want Nick Fuentes to just call me a Jew. No, the reason why you will never have Nick Fuentes on is because you are somebody that believes in the process, the idea of shutting people out, of shunning. It's how you and your tribe operate. It's how Mark Levin operates. It's how you go about things. Because Ben, the reason that Nick Fuentes is as popular and prominent as he is because of you. Nick is your Frankenstein's monster. You made him what he is by going after him in the way that you did. You tried to create a cancel network because he was asking questions that you didn't like. So now that he's more popular than you, he's more relevant than you, he has more motion than you, now you're asked, would I have a conversation? And you're put in a very difficult situation. Because on one hand, you want to say no, because you still want to pretend that you're bigger than him. On the other hand, you kind of do want to have a debate because it would get you views. Now, sure, a lot of those views would be against you, but it would be views. And given your dying channel and dying platform and dying relevancy, you probably see it as an opportunity. So without further ado, we're going to watch this clip from PPD between him and Ben Shapiro.
On the mic and on the screen talking, him and the camera like this versus one-on-one. It's
well, I think,
very different
listen,
one-on-one.
Also, obviously, his incentive structure, if we were to sit down together, would be to get the own the Shapiro moment, right? And then blow it up all over the internet, clearly.
Would you ever have him on?
Would I ever have him?
Own the Shapiro moment. So, Ben is already, he's going, well, I'm going to insinuate and just declare what his motivation would be. Ben, if Nick were to sit down with you, I imagine he would be cordial. And I imagine it would sort of be like the conversation with Hunter Biden. Maybe a little bit more adversarial, but that's understandable given what you did to him. But I don't think it would be him, spamming, the K word and, talking about how you deserve the Holocaust. Like, I don't think that's what it would be. I don't think that's what it would be at all. I think it would be a very interesting and worthwhile conversation. Ben, I think you need to take your balls out of your purse and you need to actually have this debate.
Come on. I mean, it depends. Again, if he were, I would. The answer is no, I think. But the reason I'm hesitating is because if I got the impression that he were willing to have like an actual serious sit down conversation without all of the, now I'm just going to call you a Jew for the shits and giggles.
Who cares? What, are you oversensitive? What, you don't know you're a Jew? Ben, that is weakness. That is pathetic. Who cares? Do you know how bad that would make him look? Ben, you're not thinking about this correctly. If you went in there and you set it up that you're going to have this good faith debate and Nick Fuentes showed up and he acted like an idiot and you started saying, Jew, 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 Jew. Jew, 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 Jew. Like if he did that, he would look bad. You would look good because you'd be able to come off as more reasonable. No, I think if anything, what his tactics would be, Nick would be, I'm going to be the reasonable one here. You're going to be the radical. That would be Nick's play here, I imagine. Nick is not going to come over here and go, Jew, 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 Jew. Listen, Ben Shapiro. Listen, you need to stop sodomizing all those little boys because you're like, he's not going to do that. No, what he is going to do is, if you ever did have the balls to sit down, he's going to come after some of your positions, but he's going to do it in a way that is very subdued because in the clips, he does want to come across as being informed and articulate and not backing down, but he doesn't want to come across as unhinged, which is something that you could end up being because you would allow your emotions to get the better. And then the clips afterwards would say, well, so much for Ben Shapiro's facts don't care about your feelings. You see what I mean? Ben is looking at this and he's trying to find any excuse not to debate because he just simply doesn't like Nick Fuentes.
Of it so that the audience goes crazy. Like I'm not interested in that.
Why
right?
not?
Why am I not interested in having on somebody who just calls me a Jew for the shits and giggles of it? Because I think
I actually don't think he'll do that. I actually don't think he'll do that.
So I mean, listen, if you could convince me of that, then I would do it.
Yeah,
like
I don't think he would do that.
Or the
I think it would be a real good debate, and it would be a good conversation, and I think a lot of the youth would sit there and say, "Good for Ben for having him on." It would be what a lot of people would never see coming, and I think you would be more surprised on how he is one-on-one. By the way, just so you know,
I mean, again,
from the day
I'm
he's been on my podcast,
I'm sure he's a very nice guy in a one-on-one.
From the day he was here with me, the interview, till today, him and I haven't spoken at all.
Yeah.
So it's not like a fake conversation,
of
anything like that. I just think it would be a good conversation to have him. And, selfishly, I would also like to see you and Tucker sitting down. You on his or him on yours.
Again,
I know, and that's not
I've
happening.
offered Tucker that about 1,000 times.
I've seen that.
And I really doubt that's going to happen. Again, I think that there's a misalignment of incentives. I think that Nick, let's put it this way, Nick does not want to be pinned down on his ideological beliefs with
Well, you don't want to be pinned down on your ideological beliefs. Ben, your weakness is what you think is your strength. Your weakness is Israel. Because you're an American, but you're not really an American. Ben Shapiro's not really an American. He is Israeli first. We know that. It's not a shock to anyone. In fact, I imagine if you asked him, he'd probably stammer and stutter around, but the reality is the people know that. Your weakness is Israel. And you don't want to be pinned down on that. So that is the point of a debate. That is the point of a debate. You will be pinned down on the things where you're weak, and you have the opportunity to pin down where he's weak. You have the opportunity to go after him. We got Admiral Murat says, is the Owens-Wilson debate, is it tomorrow? Yes, it is tomorrow. The Owens-Wilson debate is tomorrow. We are going to be reacting to it. I can't wait. It looks like it's shaping up to be good fun. Looks like it's shaping up to be good fun. But I want to talk about this debate between Ben Shapiro. It seems like Ben Shapiro is running scared. Because, he's going to call you a mean name. Like, listen, do you understand that if Nick Fuentes came on and he were just calling you a Jew and he weren't really defending any arguments, he would look bad. But Ben, what you're doing is you're like, well, I would have a debate with him, but we would have to set ground rules first where he couldn't say this, or this, and I would be able to press him on this. Just have a debate. Having all these rules and having all these things set up, it's pathetic. I'm in chat. Somebody says, I'm happy somebody is finally taking on Owens. Yeah, it's about time. It only took $300,000. That's crazy money.
With data or with counter argument that is serious. And so his incentive structure very strongly would be to sort of do the Piers Morgan interview, right? Like if you watch Nick's interview with Piers Morgan, again, I found it amusing too because Nick's really good at that game, but Piers is trying to.
Yeah, he knows that is exactly why he would lose, because Ben Shapiro's entire argument structure would be on, well, I want you to repent and apologize and prostrate yourself in front of Israel and in front of the Jews. And Nick Fuentes wouldn't do that. I think that really is the hesitation. Ben Shapiro would do the debate if Nick Fuentes agreed to prostrate himself and apologize and debase himself. But what he doesn't want is a Piers Morgan, Nick Fuentes style interview where Nick ends up looking good because Piers Morgan did such a shit job.
Pin him down on his beliefs about the Holocaust. And so what Nick does is he immediately launches into a bunch of jokes about the Holocaust. Well, again.
No. He didn't launch into a bunch of jokes. Piers Morgan tried to press him on the Holocaust. And he's like, dude, I don't care. We're sick of that. We're sick of hearing about that. What's wrong with that from Nick's point of view? Now, from your point of view, you say, well, you can't do that. Nick's like, well, I just did. But that's not an argument. No, what Piers tried to do is say, you're bad for having this position. He wasn't arguing. Piers actually brought in some old guy. You know that meme? You guys remember? It's been a while. It's an older meme, sir, but it checks out. Yeah, let me pull it up. You guys remember this?
In the Holocaust. In fact, I want to play you two clips. One is where you talk about Adolf Hitler.
Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan.
When they were 10 years old, so perhaps he might like to reconsider his joke.
See, that's the reality of your jokes, although I haven't ascertained yet whether you are joking when you say...
Look at his face. Look at his face.
...that Hitler was very fucking cool. Are you joking, or do you actually think he was very fucking cool? The most genocidal monster of the last 150 years?
Yeah, the thing is, my generation, we're just done with the pearl clutching. You know,
yeah, you might be, but then your generation hasn't gone through what Danny Finkelstein's family went through. So maybe the pearl clutching has a way to go for families whose family members
oh my gosh,
were murdered.
Yeah, we got all that. We, you know, me mom, like we're, you know, I don't even know who this person is. Why is this person talking to me? This old British guy is saying me mom got killed by Hitler.
Because he doesn't find it funny when you say Hitler's very fucking cool.
I don't care.
He finds
I don't care.
I know you don't care. That's
well, yeah. See, and this is why Ben Shapiro fears a debate, because all of the weaponized rhetoric of the past that has been used to basically make people fall in line and sort of, oh, yeah, no, the Holocaust is bad. Well, I mean, of course the Holocaust is bad, but Nick is right. He goes, I don't know this guy. This British guy is saying I should care about him, that I should censor myself to appeal to this guy. Do you think this guy would ever censor himself for something Nick felt a certain way about? No, that's the whole point. And Piers Morgan, the reason why he's freaking out is because he's realizing that Nick is one of the few people that's just like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. And that, what it reveals is their kryptonite. Nick's response is their kryptonite, which is why Ben Shapiro doesn't want to have an interview. He doesn't want to have a debate because it would expose for more people the way that you approach this is, I just don't care anymore. There have been other atrocities in the world. The Holocaust is not special in that there have been people that have died. There have been way more people that have died. There have been other, atrocities. There have been other things. We're not just going to keep living over this one thing that was bad. We're going to say, yeah, we're not going to do that again. That was absolutely evil and horrific. But we're not going to make policy on it in 2026 that affects the lives of people who weren't born then. You know what I mean?
Fine. You don't have to care, but he does care.
Does that guy care about America? Does that guy care about me and my country and my family? No.
He cares what you, a prominent conservative...
And that is a perfect response. And Pierce, to his detriment, ignores it because he has no response. No, this guy doesn't give a shit about Nick or his family.
In America has to say about Adolf Hitler. Now, what do you mean by Hitler is very fucking cool? Because I think he's very fucking a monster.
Okay. And that's a clip. I think he's very fucking a monster. Do you hear yourself?
Yeah,
I mean,
do.
can we all grow up?
I do.
Can we all grow up?
He murdered 12
that is
million
childish.
people. He murdered 12 million people. What is very fucking cool about that? Tell me.
The edits, it's just cool. The uniforms, the parades, it's cool as a guy. You look at World War II and it's fascinating and it's interesting and it's compelling. And it's cool. And, we're just tired of saying these kinds of things. We want to talk like real people and give our honest opinions. And then we literally get an old Jewish guy from England who's going to say, oh, that's not very funny, mate. Me mom. And it's like, shut up. Like, no one is in favor of genocide. So let's just get that out of the way. We're not in favor of a Holocaust or genocide.
Do you think if half your family...
I mean, Nick just absolutely just scorched him. And that is what they fear. That's why they want to silence him. Because their usual tactics and usual rhetoric, it just doesn't work. And after that, Piers Morgan has nothing. Piers Morgan has absolutely nothing after that. Oh, My attempt to emotionally blackmail you failed. There's no argument beyond that. It's only the next attempt to emotionally blackmail you. There's nothing deeper. And that's why Nick, he used his reflective spell and he cast it right back on Pierce, and Pierce had no counter.
Those jokes may be transgressively funny, but that doesn't actually get to the root of the issue. Is everyone smarter for having heard that? I think actually everyone might be stupider for having heard this.
Yeah,
That's the hard part, right? A level of debate requires a level of sincere revelation of your.
By the way, this guy has debated people like Hassan Piker. This guy has debated people that are. But for Nick, you got to be so sincere. This guy has debated leftists that are perpetual liars and frauds and freaks and degenerates. But Nick is a step too far. Nick, we can't do it with Nick. He's not sincere enough. Really. He's not sincere enough.
Interior beliefs and willing to defend them. If what you're going to do is run away to comedy or to humor or to insult, then that's not worthwhile. It doesn't advance the ball.
You know, there's a difference with comedy, and there's a difference with rage baiting comments that you know it's going to get under your skin. I think if, like, when I was at Amphist and somebody asked me a question, why won't you sit down with Nick? I said, I'm not comfortable with him saying the N-word all the time. And I said it from stage. I'm like, I just want you to be respectful. You know, I listened to hip hop for many years, and maybe a little bit too much when I was a kid, but I chose to change and I went a different direction in my life. And then we had a very respectful conversation together. Like, Crowder's funny. Crowder is one of the most talented guys. I know you guys had something that happened many years ago, but I think Crowder is super talented.
Of course.
And he's funny as shit, like this stuff they used to do back in the days. You're like, who is this guy? You would watch him. You would say, super brilliant, but he's also able to do this.
Now, again, I think it is important for me to say at this point that at no point, so what's funny is that there's been this conflation. I'm just going to make this point because you're not making it, but I know that how the internet works. I'm not saying that anybody should take away Nick Fuentes' microphone or anyone else's microphone. Whether I choose to be on a podcast with somebody or not choose to be on a podcast that is an aspect of free speech, the same as it is whether I want to or whether I don't want to. So again, I think there are circumstances under which I would do something like that, but I'd have to believe certain things about how he would approach the thing in order to mean that I would think it's worthwhile. Now, other people might think it's worthwhile, right? But they're not me, so, you know.
I think it's a way to get in front of the youth that right now is not getting a platform because they're listening to him more than you. So I think sitting down with you would get in front of his audience. And if you feel your argument is more logical, his audience is going to say, you know what, he's actually got a good point. So that would be the biggest thing. That
is definitely the strongest steel-manned argument in favor.
Yeah, even if it's a 5% that's reasonable, that's willing to shift.
Right, and the strongest steel-manned argument against is that it's a setup. Right, that's the strongest.
Who cares? Are you so cowardly? Are you so afraid that you're like, well, it'll be a setup? Who cares? If it's a setup, then you roll with the punches. Are you that insecure? Like, if it's a setup, you think that you're not gonna. What do you think he's gonna do? He sat down with Hunter Biden. What do you think he's gonna do? I bet you could do a debate with Patrick Bet David as the moderator between Nick and Ben. Like, Ben just doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do it because he's a coward. He's so fearful. But here's what would happen. Ben Shapiro sitting down with Nick Fuentes, it would legitimize, in Ben's mind, it would legitimize Nick Fuentes. The reality is that at this moment, Nick Fuentes is more legitimate than Ben Shapiro. That is the inversion that has taken place, and that is what Ben hasn't caught up to yet. Ben is still running off of 2016 and before software, where he's thinking, I am more relevant, I'm more important, people listen to me, I'm more mainstream, but you're not, Ben. Your channel is dying. Your network is dying. You are the past. You've got old, antiquated ideas. People don't respect you. People don't like you. You're out of touch. You are somebody that people look at and they go, ew, no. Except for EDP445 that apparently really, really, really likes you. But other than that, people aren't listening to you. They don't respect you. They watch you sometimes because they want to see, what Ben is doing these days, and it's usually taking an L.
Steelman argument.
Yeah, but if it's on your territory, there's no risk. You're controlling the territory.
I don't think that's true because, again, I'm honest enough to I would not slice and dice it, right? And anything that we taped, we would put out.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't slice and dice it. So even on his own home turf, he's still too afraid to debate Nick Fuentes. What a coward. I mean, if that doesn't reveal to you who and what Ben Shapiro is, Ben Shapiro would never go into a hostile group the way that Nick Fuentes would in 2026. He just wouldn't. Anyway, that'll do it. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay. All right, let me get that up. Flint. Okay. All right. I'm going to play some Helldivers too. That's what I'm going to do right now. That's what we're going to do. We're going to play some Helldivers. You know why? Because I can. We're going to play some Helldivers. I hope you guys are ready. Let me close that. Okay. All right. So you guys know we are 1 day away from the weekend. We are 1 day away from Friday, and that is the opening to the weekend. Let's frickin' go. All right. Actually, let me go audio. Seven. Okay. Dialogue.
Helldivers across the galaxy are fighting for every inch of territory.
Yes, sir.
Where will you join them?
Oh, man. I've never fought against the Illuminated. I've never fought against them. Maybe I should go... Maybe I should go a little bit weaker. I've never fought against them before. Maybe we'll go 6?
Our city burns. We must rescue it.
Okay, okay. Maybe okay, Scythe. Okay, let me... Yeah, I've never done a mission with the Luminids. I don't know what I'm in store for. What am I looking for? What is it? Oh, here we go.
Allied destroyer coordinates received.
I got a group of people that know what they're doing.
The bridge is yours, Helldiver. Take us to the fight.
Initiating
All right.
I think it's 20%, dude. 10% less. Yeah, you're getting 10% less elemental damage for an additional.
FTL jump successful.
Okay.
I
But
think
the coordinates wrong.
better than an additional.
Okay. So.
Air. But then the other thing for me too is like you look at like the Halo Warbond and then you look at the redacted regiments and like why would you take you know the Halo Warbond over redacted regiments if you're a new player who doesn't have either?
I don't know which one to take, so I'm gonna. I don't know which one to take. I guess I'll take that one because that guy has it.
The sweeper shotgun just power creeps.
I'll take that.
Halo shotgun.
I'll take that.
Yeah, you lose 101 damage per shot.
I guess I'll take that. All right, guys. Wish me luck.
I will say this: I have played around with the Halo shotgun to figure out what the difference is, right?
Okay, Sig. See what we can do another round.
It's the light pen which kills it quickly, but it also has like the highest stacker of like shotgun. It's not like that shit bad. It just needs to have its own niche. Right now, the Halo shotgun is the exact same niche that the starting shotgun does. Yes, it does more damage, but
I've never.
the difference between when
I don't know if I have the right loadout, but we'll figure it out.
versus the actual OG itself, the Halo shotgun. But really, the Halo shotgun should be strong. Like
Oh, boy.
honestly, I'm mad it wasn't heavy pen.
It's taking a while for us to load in. We're falling a long way, boys.
Support weapon, you know? No. It just takes forever to load it.
We're falling a long way, boys. I don't know what's happening.
Here's glitch, so we can't actually. Yeah, I can't buy some credits.
All right.
Did I start my new job Monday? What's my first day of unemployment?
This city is a center of commerce. It must be defended.
Oh, yeah, there's more weapons!
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even really sure what we're. I'm not even sure what we're really doing. What the hell? Okay. Why is everything yellow? Okay. What the hell are you? I don't like you. I do not like you. Okay. What the hell is that? What the hell are these things?
They attack and their heads are way up, and then when they run around in the theater, their heads are lower like a little hybrid dragon creature.
Somebody needs to explain to me what the hell these things are. I don't know what the lore is.
Staying your god. He loves it because it's a support weapon armor. Oh yeah, the armor is really good. Yeah.
Oh gosh! What the hell? What? What was that?
You have ignited the torches of liberty. Extraction awaits.
What is happening? Why did I fly through the air? Oh gosh, what are you? What are you? Oh man. Oh gosh, they're ugly, they're hideous. What the hell?
Oh, to talk about the campaign with multiplayer. Oh, multiplayer, I never got around to it.
Ugh. Brother, ugh.
Calling down a support weapon.
The problem is,
Ugh. What the fuck are you? Ew. Ew.
yeah. And by that point, everyone like,
Allied destroyer has left the squadron.
Why? Really? You left? You really left?
Get out of here. Reinforcing!
Okay.
Behind me. I don't got the manpower to fight all of that. I think we gotta make...
Okay. Oh, all right. So what? Okay, extraction is available.
How hard it actually was. With these enemies, actually, it's decently hard from what I remember. Requesting sentry. It's about this.
Okay.
Last reload.
I like how you can
Okay.
down. Get in my neck.
Okay. Kind of fucked me over. Okay. Well. I mean, yeah, these guys are. Wow, I really. Damn. I do not like these. Ah! Oh gosh. They're horrifying.
This is my second round. I'm still learning how to do enemies work. I'm sure give it a few days.
They're horrifying. Ah! Oh gosh! They're like the husk. Ah! Brother, ugh. Where are these guys? Okay. These are like the husks from Mass Effect.
Allied destroyer joining squadron, deploying Helldiver to combat zone. Extraction is available.
Okay. Oh gosh! Look at the range of that thing! Oh man!
I love it.
Request approved. Deploying reinforcements.
Is Asmongold talking in the background? No, it's not Asmongold.
Get picked up by the tornado and going to die. Yep. Calling in reinforcements.
Ah! Okay.
I spawned into a tornado.
Oh gosh. Okay, no. Damn, I really don't like those tornadoes.
Please help, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Request approved. Deploying reinforcements.
Wow.
I need stems, dude.
Wow.
Watch out, he's using the exploding the eruptor.
Well.
You may proceed to extraction when ready.
This might be the only time I would recommend using feet first. This might be the only time it's actually viable. Because the tornado's like cleaning and breaking your legs.
Oh, dude, I just didn't get hit by the tornadoes. I got slashed by the. Requesting orbital strike.
Oh.
So you shoot the limbs?
Reloading.
Interesting.
Chief reinforcements on the way.
I need steps.
Administering meds. Oh, thank God.
Oh, that's nice.
The game has a long way to go. It is nice to see that there are improvements that are helping with the life of the game. Like the siege troopers, chef, and apparently now.
Back here, take it back here.
He's found a.
Interesting.
I don't know where they're gonna put him, but there's apparently some bunkers now that will actually
Interesting.
the Patriot exosuit or the FRV.
Okay.
Illuminate, southeast.
Oh, right, it's me. I apologize.
All right.
Tagging map, northeast, 200 meters. Requesting advanced weapon.
Okay.
Requesting air support.
Let's watch how they do it.
Requesting orbital.
Damn, that thing is ugly. Ooh.
Requesting sentry.
Trying to get the disruptors. Trying to distract.
All right.
I'll at least begin to make my way to extraction so I can call it in this case scenario.
You like the book Starship Troopers? Sure. I like the movie Starship Troopers.
Dude, I need a break from fucking Sending in an eagle.
Oh gosh.
I work two jobs now. I work about 2 hours. The only time games I've had. What?
Oh! How did you?
Shit. So that's
How did you not realize?
hours in on this like I used to. This is the first time I picked the
Oh,
video
man.
game all week and it shows.
Chief backup en route to your position.
My ass. Dude, they're gonna have something back to training camp.
Damn.
For this. Shit. Okay, that's alright. That's fun.
Oh no! No!
Request approved. Deploying reinforcements.
Oh gosh.
Reporting to the front.
Okay. How do I get down? Okay, that's one way to get down.
Oh my god. Don't switch up and shit in my face. Like, how do I... Throwing grenade!
Okay.
Reactor, okay. New mag!
Okay. Come on, big boy. Yeah! Oh, gosh.
All my fire grenades, and I'm trying... I don't know what it is, but I've been having the same lag with my inputs recently.
Okay. Well, you know what?
Because my game updated to reset my D-pad, I had my D-pad or like my four directional
5 minutes remaining. I repeat,
pretty
5
fast.
minutes
Now
remaining.
it's got like a half
Okay.
delay, so my inputs are lagging for at least the strapping side. Aiming side is because I'm rusty.
Deploying sentry.
Okay.
Delta, you are moving outside the mission area.
They've got like new S or futuristic
Taking heavy
technology.
casualties. Reinforcements requested. There is but one sentence.
What? Gosh. Man.
All hostiles eliminated. Request approved. Deploying reinforcements. Extraction shuttle inbound.
Are we not doing the orbital inbound?
Run!
Requesting air support.
Sorry,
Grab the stims. Yeah.
ETA T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds.
All right.
ETA T-minus 1 minute.
Damn. No! Oh man, it's just one guy left. Oh man. Come on. No, you can do it. You can do it. Come on. Come on. I believe in you. You can do it. You can do it. Let's go! You can do it!
ETA T-minus 20 seconds.
Oh gosh.
Requesting air support. ETA T-minus 10 seconds.
Oh, you got it. You got it. You got it.
I have visual on the extraction zone.
Come on. You're so close.
This is Pelican 1, preparing for touchdown. Calling in reinforcements.
Oh, you're so close. Get it. Get in. Get in.
Shuttle launch in 20 seconds.
Oh, look at all them.
Extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning.
Yeah. Very nice.
You will forever be remembered as heroes of this metropolis.
Very nice. That was difficult, but it got done. Okay. That is better than nothing.
Last set of armor they passed out with the collision damage reduction, fire damage reduction. No.
All right.
I just hope these rewards from
Well,
like the campaigns aren't
Yeah.
FOMO.
So, good news, bad news. Good news is they promise they're going to hand them out later, and they're following through on
That's
that
wild,
because
boys.
The FRV that they passed out
Yeah.
for the campaign reward back, I want to say in June, is going to be added permanently for anyone to unlock in October. They said that they're going to bring it in October. Like
all
late
right.
October.
Maybe you invite one of the boys.
But the other downside is the FRV.
So you can get
was
higher
running
than
war bonds. So they have the Exo Expert war bond, and then everything
you can get higher than 150.
Yeah, they canceled the war bond.
Yeah, because it was all behind war bonds.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's like, where else are those resources going to come from?
Helldiver. We can never
Okay.
have too many heroes
So it's
fighting
like,
for peace.
yeah, no
Freedom
shit. They're
wins
gonna cut.
again.
They're gonna have to cut something.
Yeah, so what happened was some people were upset that it took so long to get a war bond. It was only the 40k war bond. It's like, okay, well, to be fair, the suit of armor and the hyena, if you've heard of the hyena,
I have
those
hyena.
all were.
I like it.
Yeah,
Okay.
all those things were gonna be in a war bond themed specifically around FRVs. We're gonna get the supply FRV, the fire FRV, 2 sets of armor. But
Freedom be
effectively,
with you,
all of
Helldiver.
that now is getting ripped into tiny pieces and passed out as,
And that's fine. That's
which is
better.
fine. Which is
It's free content.
it's better this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worse for
I just-
Arrowhead, but like, if you're a player, like, look, it's free.
Okay.
Free is good.
Yeah. The thing that
Well,
I'm just
I
trying
think
to
we're
say is
gonna
I hope
we're
that,
gonna wrap
like
that up.
the-
I think that was enough to get a taste. To get a taste of the war bond. Well, war bond, the mission. Yeah, we don't have the war bond yet. We don't have the war bond yet. Okay. All right. We will close that down. All right. So I think I'm going to wrap things up there. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning into the stream. I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you guys for continuing to allow me to do this. It means everything. Guys, I want to say God bless you. God be with you.